Eagles family, listen up because the energy in Philly is on fire. Our Philadelphia Eagles are once again at the center of the NFL spotlight, and honestly, I can't remember the last time I felt this hyped. The vibe is different, the confidence is real, and you can feel that we're ready to fly even higher. Now I want to hear from you. What grade would you give our team for everything that's been happening lately? I'll go first. A perfect 1,000. And drop in the comments what every fan is thinking. Thank you for everything, Eagles. A lot of people believe another Super Bowl is within reach. And let me tell you, I don't doubt it for a single second. This team has the grit, the power, and we are going to get there. But before diving deeper into that, let's jump straight into today's first big news. And don't forget, smash that like button to show the world the power of Eagles Nation. It looks like the quiet mystery of CB2 is finally clearing up. After today's practice window open to media, Adoree Jackson took first-team reps on the outside opposite Quinion Mitchell, signaling that the staff has a plan for Week 1 even if they're keeping the specifics close for competitive reasons. Nick Sirianni essentially said the decision is settled in-house, but not for public consumption. A bit of gamesmanship with Dallas days away. Why Jackson? The staff loves how consistently he rides in a receiver's hip pocket and arrives at the catch point. His returner background shows up in ball skills, and the preseason reinforced that he'll tackle and stick his face in the fan. That toughness and mirror ability will be tested immediately by a Dallas pass game headlined by CeeDee Lamb and the size-speed contest catch threat of George Pickens, a duo that turns every 50-50 into a real coin flip if you're late or out of phase. But don't carve it in stone. Multiple people in the building see this as fluid, and the arrow on Jacorian Bennett keeps inching up. He's the best straight-line runner in the group, young, and his film shows real ball skills when asked to carry verticals and play the hands late. There's even a little swagger boost in switching to number. 23 from that clunky camp number, cosmetic, sure, but it speaks to confidence as he pushes to unseat the vet if the door opens. For now, Jackson has the nod. As the season unfolds, Bennett could make this a real conversation. Elsewhere, Philadelphia slid in a roster move that turned heads. Kenyon Green is on the 53. Based on his recent body of work, that's a gamble. Availability has been spotty, and when he has played, the consistency hasn't been there, which is why this reads as a developmental swing more than immediate help.
The counterpoint is the Stoutland factor. If there's a line coach you trust to rebuild a talented interior lineman's base and anchor, it's Jeff Stoutland. Still, if Green is forced into early action, you're nervous. If he's a long-term project who benefits from the Eagles' OL incubator, the upside case is at least imaginable. Terrace Marshall Jr., meanwhile, returns to the practice squad, sitting in that quad A band between the 53 and the scout team, useful depth if injuries bite, but not a lock for Sundays. The injury tape offers a genuine lift. Landon Dickerson was spotted working through drills and repping on the field goal unit, wearing a sleeve after meniscus surgery yet trending toward availability. Given his college ACL history, the fast ramp-up underscores how durable and important he's been in midnight green. The line's identity feels different when 69 is burying 3 techs and climbing on schedule. If he's ready, it stabilizes everything the Eagles want to be in the run game and in their slide protections against Dallas simulated pressures. Safety remains the true coin flip room. Andrew Makuba, the second rounder out of Texas, is back from the hamstring that slowed him right when he popped with a 75-yard preseason pick-6 off Dylan Gabriel. Sidney Brown still profiles as the tone setter with range who can live in split safety shells and spin late, and the staff brought in Marcus Epps to add a veteran baseline if the kid's hamstrings or ankles wobble in a short week. If you're circling one lineup choice that might not be settled until inactives are turned in, this is it. Quarterback depth bears watching, too. Tanner McKee didn't practice. He was seen snapping with his offhand earlier in the week, and that opens the door for Sam Howell to serve as QB2 behind Jalen Hurts on Thursday night. The plan, obviously, is to keep Hurts upright and out of harm's way, but the number 2 designation matters in a division slugfest where one awkward sack can change the week. Layer it all together and the picture for the opener sharpens. A veteran at CB2 to steady the ship early, a hot-chasing youngster right behind him. A surprising O-line bet that could pay later if Stoutland can sand down the rough edges, a left guard racing the clock and winning, a 3-man safety battle that might go down to the wire, and a backup QB decision that could hinge on late week health. That's a lot of levers to pull before Dallas hits the link under the lights, and it sets up a game that will say plenty about how this roster plans to win in September. What's your read? Do you ride with Adoree Jackson holding CB2 for week 1, or would you roll the dice on Jacorian Bennett right now? And how do you feel about Kenyon Green making the 53 as the Lions' long-term project? If the staff's choice at CB2 created some debate, the ripple effect across the secondary is even more fascinating. Darius Slay remains the clear tone setter, but the truth is the defense will only hold up if the second corner doesn't become a weekly bullseye. Adoree Jackson brings the steadiness, yet the front office drafted Quinyon Mitchell in the first round for a reason, and his skill set screams long-term lockdown. If Jackson can hold serve while Mitchell develops and Jacorian Bennett keeps pressing, the Eagles might actually have depth at a position where depth has usually been fleeting. Still, Dallas has a knack for isolating and hammering weak links, and that makes every coverage snap in this matchup a test of whether the Eagles got the CB2 answer right. The offensive line is another area where optimism collides with realism. Landon Dickerson's rapid recovery lifts the entire group, but let's not gloss over the concerns around Kenyon Green. This roster spot is not about immediate security, it's about future payoff. Stoutland's reputation is why this gamble feels slightly less risky, yet it's also true that the line hasn't needed developmental placeholders in years because the standard was always plug-and-play readiness. With Green, the staff is banking on pedigree and patience. If he gets right physically and technically, you could be looking at a starter down the road. If not, this is a wasted roster slot in a year where margins matter. Terrace Marshall Jr.'s place on the practice squad further underscores how the team is shuffling the deck at the back end of the roster, weighing potential against proven floor. The safety rotation could quietly define September. Sidney Brown's energy and versatility are undeniable, but he's still refining his angles and recognition. Andrew Mukuba adds athletic upside and showed flashes before the hamstring slowed him. That pick six in the preseason wasn't just a highlight, it was a reminder of the instincts that made him a second-rounder. Marcus Epps, though, might be the overlooked linchpin. He's not flashy, but he's steady, and if you're facing Dak Prescott in a primetime opener, sometimes steadiness is the priority over upside. The staff has to balance the temptation to unleash youth with the reality of Dallas' layered passing game. On offense, the quarterback depth chart is creating its own storyline. Tanner McKee's absence shifts Sam Howell into the spotlight as the likely QB2. The Eagles didn't bring Howell in to hold a clipboard forever. His live arm and mobility fit the system, and this week could be a chance to accelerate his integration. Jalen Hurts is obviously the engine, but the team understands how fragile a season can be if the QB room lacks competence behind the starter. Howell has a real chance to prove that if his number is ever called, he can keep the offense functional rather than forcing the team into survival mode. And then there's the psychological layer. Nick Sirianni's refusal to publicly commit on CB2 wasn't just secrecy, it was strategy. Dallas scouts the Eagles as hard as anyone, and every snap of uncertainty forces more preparation on their side. But there's a flip side. Secrecy also fuels speculation and puts a target on whoever trots out there first. If Jackson falters early, the decision will be second-guessed before halftime. If he holds his ground, the secrecy looks like savvy mind games. That's the thin margin Philly is playing with as they prepare to open under the lights. In the trenches, Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis remain the anchors, but the attention Dickerson commands at guard creates a domino